Magician!
Hey YouTube, DogMagician84 here, and I thought I'd do a video talking about formats and tournaments that I will and won't do, kind of. So I've made a decision about current format Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've decided that I will end up quitting current format Yu-Gi-Oh! But not just yet, though. If anything, I like to think I'm at a semi-retired stage. I mean, don't worry, I won't quit the game outright. It just wouldn't be right if I did that. So yeah, I say semi-retired because, well, I haven't, regarding current format games, I am willing to make, like, a couple of exceptions for, like, maybe 2, 3 or 4 people, including Emma, as, yeah, we're still working on building her Pearly and Trap Tricks decks, but who knows if they'll ever be finished. We still need Pearly itself, plus one more copy of my friend Pearly. Everything else is, and has been, a lot easier to get. But it's a struggle getting Pearly itself. From what I heard, one copy each is about £22. I mean, that's better than it was before, but it's still too much. That's like over 60 quid for a playset. It's ridiculous. And, well, to be honest, it would be nice if that got reprinted, but who knows when that will happen. I mean, I know it will eventually, but that probably won't happen until, like, either the next Battles of Legend set, or it might get a Megatin Mega Pack reprint. I don't know yet. Who knows? Well, nobody knows yet. And yeah, Trap Tricks, well, to be honest, I'm in no hurry to finish those, considering I despise them. Well, I suppose if she still wants to play them that badly and learn how to play them, then I'm just going to use my Dark Magician and Elemental Hero decks against them, because, well, Dark Magician is really the only deck I feel confident that it can stand up to Trap Tricks, whereas Elemental Heroes, I think, can play through them. But I'm just not sure about my other 3 decks. I don't feel confident that they'd be able to play through anything they do that easily. We'll see. And then, of course, there's still some current format games that I filmed on Edo Pro that are under current format, so they have yet to be uploaded at the time of recording this. Yeah, other than that, there's only like 3 other formats that I'm more willing to play under. Certain pass formats, speed duels, which I still have yet to get back into, and the custom format that I created, which I mentioned in like the intro of Series 9 of the Dark Magician's Deck Grand Championship, and in one of my recent Q&A episodes. I'll probably do a video about that format at some point. I've just been hesitant to show that idea. Regardless, Matt and Alison Welch are totally on board with having games under that list, and Emma is also willing to give it a try as well. I just hope it won't be too confusing for her, as she's only been back playing for like almost 2 years now, but obviously doesn't play as much as I do. And I don't want to overwhelm her with like too many different rules and ways of playing. That's the issue. Of course, that being said, well, this format is just more something for me and friends of mine to play with, basically. But I guess other people could have a go as well. But in any case, though, once this is in full swing, and me, Emma, Matt and Alison Welch at least have got this format into full swing and are playing under it and having a blast with it, then I'm going to end up quitting current format Yu-Gi-Oh! For good. It's like I said, the way things are just absolutely bullshit. I know there is that issue which other YouTubers have complained about regarding prices of cards skyrocketing. Yeah, I know all about the bullshit with Bonfire. So yeah, I do know all about that, and just people are quitting over this sort of issue. And yeah, well, that is a problem, definitely. I'm just more bothered about other things that I already ranted about in that rant I did last month, and sort of went over it again in my last Q&A, where there's just too many cards and decks that just do things that don't let anyone play, which put me off playing in current format tournaments. But even in casual play, there's just no escape. I also just realised that I forgot about the minor league, because that's another format I'm still willing to play under, but I'll come back to that. It just feels like it's got too competitive. All anyone cares about is winning through OTK or FTK, or some sort of lockdown strategy. They either want to try and win in one turn, or just try to win with negates, floodgates, an insane amount of disruptions, and Ash, Droll, Dimension Shifter, and sometimes even DD Crow and Cyframe Gamma. It's ridiculous. I mean, the game shouldn't even be played this way. But I know I've already gone over that before, but it's just kind of ridiculous that there's like hardly any fair and balanced decks, and it just feels like hardly anyone is interested in having fair, balanced and evenly matched games where both players have a fair and equal chance of winning. No OTK, FTK, troll or lockdown strategies. Just slugging it out with monsters until someone's life points hit 0. What's so wrong with that? But I've already gone over this a couple of times already, and what's worse is that players think this is perfectly okay, and they think they can justify this. Which of course relates to arguments people have with me over cards and decks that I hate, and it's just so annoying and boring. There've even been points where I feel like it's got out of hand, and I just don't want to put up with any of this bullshit anymore. And regarding decks that don't let anyone play the game through the methods I just mentioned, Konami just doesn't do anything about it, or at least they don't do enough, because the ban lists they bring out are a joke. Now, I know I mentioned this already as well, but but basically they don't hit cards and decks that should be hit, or even if they do, it's not enough. They unban cards that really shouldn't be unbanned, unlimit cards that really shouldn't be unlimited, and on some occasions they ban or limit cards that don't deserve to be banned or limited. And even if they do get rid of problematic cards and decks, it doesn't matter, because something equally as annoying or worse always comes along just to continue that annoying cycle. And it's just like, what's the point in having a ban list? There's just no point. And it just feels too much like Konami only cares about using the list to make money rather than fix problems in the game. And people say, oh, they don't need to fix this, that and the other, but, well, that's a matter of opinion. There's just too much bullcrap that just puts people off playing. It's like either they quit the game outright, or they just don't want to play in tournaments anymore, or they just don't want to play current format Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. And then they just go off and play other card games. I'm sure not every Yu-Gi-Oh player will quit, but if people keep quitting and just quitting, bailing out or whatever, that surely can't be good for the game. That's just me. There's just too many unappealing things about it. Just too many bullshit, unfair cards and decks that don't let anyone play. Too many bullshit ban lists. The arguments people start with me over cards, decks and ban lists that I don't like. I just can't take it anymore. But yeah, I'll only be semi-retired for now, but yeah, I just don't see myself completely sticking with it. That being said, there are other formats and tournaments that I will still do, like I said. Speed duels I really want to have a go with. Same with my own custom format. Regarding pass formats, there's pass formats I will play and pass formats that I won't play. September '07 being the main one I absolutely will play, because that's my favourite format. Anything from pre-synchro is preferable though. Of course, that being said, I will still happily have some pass format games from Synchro and Xyz's era. I mean, I still got my 2 Edison decks, Rainbow Neos and Spellcasters. I still got March 2011 Legendary Hero, March 2012 Dark Magician Hero, and April 2014 Dark Magic Strike. So I will happily have games under those lists, and even some cross-ban list games, but I'd much rather play pass formats from original series and GX eras as well. You know, that was my time. That I just personally found it more enjoyable, you know, as an old school duelist. But of course, nothing is perfect though. There are some bullshit formats from back then that weren't enjoyable, and some that I won't play under. What I have never played though is anything from the very beginning. So just anything where cards from Legend of Blue Eyes to before Pharaoh's Servant would sound appealing to me. But I say Pharaoh's Servant because that's when Imperial Order came into the game, and I just don't want to deal with that. Imperial Order is one of my most hated cards of all time, and I don't want to deal with that. Plus, anything where pre-errata Ring of Destruction is allowed is also something I won't play under, especially not Yatterlock format. Like, that was the most bullshit, toxic old format of all time. I mean, Yatta and Chaos Emperor Dragon just made my life a misery back then. So, yeah, I'll be damned if I have to deal with that again. Anyway, regarding formats where pre-errata Ring of Destruction was legal, this also includes GOs. Now, I did mention that I stopped playing GO format duels and don't want to play under them anymore, because, well, that format is overrated in my opinion. I'm probably going to get dislikes for it, and it's probably an unpopular opinion, but it's my opinion. You know, I just don't enjoy it anymore, you know, because I'm fed up of Ring of Destruction for game, having cards ripped out my hand by Delinquent Duo, and having my defensive monsters popped and banished by Noblenov crossouts, just like that. It was just so infuriating. I mean, why those cards were even legal back then is beyond me. And after the last GOAT format tournament I played in, it just got too much. So I don't want to deal with that anymore. Those 3 cards were just the worst thing about GOAT. I mean, if those 3 cards were banned back then I would happily keep playing GOATs, but but ultimately they just ruined it for me. Of course, I know people say, "Oh, how can you hate on Goat? Goat is amazing." Well, not everyone enjoys it. What can I say? Yeah. But other than that, I'll basically playing anything up to July 2014. Now, formats from July 14 onwards, I absolutely won't play under, because, well, that's when pendulums came into the game, and that rule was introduced where whoever goes first can't draw. Excuse me. And just the game just got worse since then, and just hasn't been the same. It's just, I mean, I know I said this already, but we've just come too far away from what the game used to be like. So yeah, those are the formats, past formats that I will and won't play under. That being said, I'm not willing to do any past format tournaments anymore for various reasons. Not after the bad luck I've had lately. I mean, like I said, Edison tournaments became unenjoyable because of Glads, Sabres, Monarchs, Macro and Chain Burn. Alright, fair enough, I didn't play against all of these decks. I think I didn't face Glads or Macro, but they've just always really irritated me. Whereas I did face the other three, and they just weren't enjoyable matchups. I mean, even Chain Burn by itself just outright put me off. Like, that was just irritating. Yeah, and one of my friends had said, "Oh, but nobody was playing this deck and that deck in the tournament." I mean, well, yeah, maybe those annoying decks weren't in that tournament, but what's to stop anyone playing them in future Edison tournaments? I mean, let's be honest here. But yeah, other than that, I've just not had the best luck in tournaments of any kind throughout September and October. I mean, in that GOAT tournament, I just felt like I wasted £9 to lose all my games. It just didn't feel worth it, not just with GOAT, but with any of the current format ones. I basically paid £9 to lose pretty much all my games, because, yeah, that was totally worth it. And that really broke my confidence. And I don't really want to play in either of those again, in case it ends up being a waste of money again. Then, of course, there's the alternate formats ran at Tabletop Republic, 2.5, and the Minor League. Now, well, they do count as current format tournaments. They have custom ban lists. A lot of changes being the same, some different. But for me personally, the Minor League is more appealing than 2.5. I mean, as I feel like it's more chilled in their own right. I mean, I was going to give 2.5 a go, but then I sort of changed my mind. I mean, while there are hated decks and meta decks that are banned under 2.5, there's still other annoying decks that can be competitive that are being played, which is very off-putting. I believe Tri-Brigade was something that was played. I can't remember for sure, but I'm sure it was. And we've had Paleozoic, Invoked Shaddoll, Naturias, and Traptrix played in those. And honestly, like, why Traptrix is allowed in both 2.5 and even the minor league is beyond me. I mean, it's not listed among the banned decks, and yet Traptrix saw a lot of competitive play throughout 2023, even defeating Kashtira, something very top tier. So I really question the logic here. So why is it that Kashtira is banned, but Traptrix, which could easily beat Kashtira, isn't? That doesn't make any sense to me. Not that I'm defending Kashtira. I mean, Kashtira can rot in hell. But I just don't get it. But in any case, if those decks are allowed in 2.5, that makes me not want to play in them. As Naturias, Traptrix, Paleozoic Frog, Prank Kids, and Invoked Shaddoll have just really irritated me over the years. Doesn't matter if I can beat them or not. They're just annoying to play against. I mean, they just really frustrate me. That's supposed to be kind of a more chilled way of playing, but there's still decks being played that are not chilled. Whereas in the minor league, that doesn't really come up very often. I mean, we had someone play the likes of Sky Strikers, Exorcisters, Dinomorphia, True Draco, and Eldritch played in that, which is nowhere near chilled. But other than that, the minor league is more enjoyable. And that's something that appeals more to casual players, whereas 2.5 is played by the usual competitive player. So there's also a big difference there. So the minor league is more enjoyable, but well, you know what they say, nothing's perfect. I mean, like I said, Sky Strikers, Exorcisters, Dinomorphia, True Draco, and Eldritch were played, and Ash Blossom, unfortunately, all of which are nowhere near chilled, and yet somehow they were allowed to be played in what's supposed to be a chilled format. So it's like, what the hell? And it's something I've ranted about, complained about, and I have tried to get these banned, but it felt like no one agreed with me on that. And then after the last minor league, I just felt put off playing in those and didn't want to do them anymore because of all these issues. However, after a conversation I had with Jack and John, I decided to give them another chance, because those unchilled decks are no longer permitted to be played. Although I heard that Silver Cyclone entered last week with Infernities, and that's actually kind of worrying, as like we're talking almost full power Infernities, which also wasn't chilled in any way whatsoever. Now I say almost full power because launcher is still limited, but the issue with that is even though that got limited back in September 2010, it didn't make a difference. Infernities still did things that just didn't let the opponent play, whether it was through OTK strategies or using barrier to just negate everything the opponent does. Of course, that being said, at least if it does become an issue, we can request to get the deck banned, or at least just get rid of launcher and barrier. I don't know, just try and do something to nerf Infernities. I mean, even trying to put Archfiend and barrier back to 1 would be fine, but we'll just have to see how that goes. Anyway, the other issue being was Ash Blossom, of course. I did say that I would still like it to be banned from the minor league, or at the very least have Called by the Grave at 3 just to counter it, and there was an agreement to put Called by the Grave to 3. I just hope that doesn't open another can of worms, and I'll go over that in my tournament vlog. Of course, I don't know which is going to get uploaded first at the time of recording. In any case, the minor league is another way of playing that I'm willing to give a go again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've basically talked about everything I want to talk about. Regarding my own custom format and ban list, I guess I will do a video on that at some point. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Main point is, even though it was long and winded, I'm now semi-retired from current format Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Magician YouTube channel.